Welcome to another episode of the Finished Podcast. We are televised today.
Yeah.
Well, YouTube televised.
We showered.
Yeah. What we did, we showered. I put on some makeup. I'm at the office.
Yeah. Is it your first time at the office?
It is. This is the first time I've been back at the Finished office since having our son. It's the weirdest thing to say. I have a son.
Yeah.
You know, the other day, Danny, who works with me, came by the house. We were catching up on some work. We had this long conversation. Remy was napping upstairs and an hour had gone by and her and I were talking deep stuff about work. And I heard him cry and I looked at her and I think it registered with her. She's pregnant right now too. And I went, I forgot that I had a baby upstairs. Like it was the first time since I've had this baby. And I don't know if that happens to parents that I went, oh my God, I'm a mom and I have to go get my crying baby upstairs. I had just lost track and I was just in work mode. It was crazy, but it was kind of nice. I've been feeling better that I've gotten back to work a bit.
That hits me every time that my mom or anybody's taking care of him says, your son this, your son that. Is like, oh yeah, that's like, I was like, wow.
I had a moment yesterday, you know, I was kind of taken away from home all day yesterday. I had something to do for work and I was gone all day. And that's the first time I've been away from him all day. So like my boobs are leaking. I'm pumping multiple times throughout the day. It's such a weird thing to wrap your head around. And I mean, I didn't even get home till like 8:00 at night. And I felt so sad because I'm so fortunate that we have your mom watching him, because who better to trust than your mom? She's amazing with him. But I felt so sad, like, oh my gosh, he's going to forget me, right? And I guess moms start to feel that way. Like he's going to forget me and like your mom more than he likes me, and he's not going to know me anymore.
Hey, he's still the milk source.
I'm the milk source for now.
It doesn't matter how long he goes
You notice I have
without seeing you
right now to cover.
As long as you keep being the milk source, I don't think he's going to forget you.
Yeah, I'm the milk source for now. So, you know, I have to say though, I'm going to sell you out just like a little bit if I can. You know what? I'm going to wait until later in the show because I have something that I'm going to sell you out on that I don't know if our fellow like Hispanic listeners want to weigh in on this, or if this is a cultural thing like Danny says that it is, but it's something I've noticed with you and your mom. But I'm going to save it for a little bit because today we have a lot to get to today. We have our first guest coming up on the show today. I got a lot of feedback from you. Thank you so much for emailing questions and guest ideas, because we actually have someone coming on the show to answer some of your burning questions. One of the most common things we got were questions surrounding your pelvic floor and some exercises. We have a lot of women that are pregnant or have been pregnant or are having some issues there. I don't even really know what the pelvic floor is, and I just went through this, so we're going to have
I think we're going to learn all about that.
Yeah. But I have something to briefly discuss with you that I don't know if you know.
I don't.
I got 2 calls yesterday from the vet. This is not baby related. I got 2 phone calls from the vet yesterday. And so when I had a break in my day and I was pumping, you didn't do it. I have 2 voicemails from the vet and I'm reading the transcription and it's like, can we do blood work right now? You know, can we talk about anesthesia? And I'm going, shit. Like, what's happening? Of course, like the day I'm unavailable, there's some emergency with one of our dogs.
What do you know about?
Oh, you don't know the story yet. I thought Candy maybe told you when she came by yesterday. And then we didn't even talk about it last night. This is how unimportant the dogs have become, that we didn't even talk about an emergency. I feel awful.
So what happened? Which one was it? Please tell me it was Jefe.
No,
I'm
it was
kidding.
Wheezy.
I'm just kidding.
So since Brian and I had Remy and had his family staying with us, and we live in this townhome, I think we mentioned last week, it's just been really hard, right? So Candy's been helpful to kind of, you know, she's helping with the dogs, taking them to school. You know, we're kind of tag teaming the dog situation. And she, of course, it's always something, right? The dogs always need something. And we kind of feel frustrated with the vet in general. My mom and I have been bitching, and maybe y'all can speak to this. Maybe it's like every vet that they're like, every time you bring the dog in, they're like, they need a fecal exam and everything costs, you know, every vet visit costs like $500. They just bought a new
house or something. And it's just always like, oh, now he needs a like multivitamin shot that is going to be $3,000.
Yeah, he needs an ophthalmologist.
Otherwise, he's going to die.
So, and they make you feel bad about it. But I mean, I think that I like the vet. And anyway, I just don't know. So yesterday, I kind of thought it was more of that, right? So apparently, Wheezy went in for a checkup And, shocking, she has horrible tooth issues. Like some are very, like she has inflamed gums. They think it's creating a lot of pain. They're like, there's a bunch of cracked ones. There's infections, but I'm very hesitant, to put dogs under anesthesia. I don't know if you know that we lost a pug that way. And so I spoke with the vet. So she needs pretty immediate like dental work done. I'm like, great. I just had a baby and now who knows how much we have to pay for that. They couldn't give me any estimates over the phone, but they're willing to get me a quote for a special anesthesiologist that works with like short-nosed animal breeds, right? Like pugs to come in. But she says they're very capable and that one of the particular one that would do the surgery has a bunch of pugs or something. So they know how to put them to sleep, but she needs blood work done to see if she's healthy enough to be put to sleep.
I think we need a second opinion.
Under anesthesia.
I'm just going to go ahead and say we need a second opinion.
I was like, what's the cost of euthanasia? And like, it didn't go over well. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. I love the pugs. Of course you're going to pay for it because they're your dogs, but
they're like your other kids.
I'm like, yeah, shocking. She has tooth issues. She has like a tooth. Like, like I don't know where the rest
and God knows what he's eating at your mom's house, like M&Ms all day or something.
Yeah, Candy gives them too much sugar. Yeah. Weird that it happens.
Twizzlers, they're chewing on Twizzlers all day.
That my mom's name's Candy, and this happened at her house. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry. I know, and
that's so shocking.
I have this kind of like this post-traumatic stress with putting a dog under anesthesia. Yeah. I mean, I had to do it with Maximus, and he came out okay. I mean, they're very drugged, but he had like 8 teeth pulled around this age and it went okay. But yeah, obviously I'm kind of hesitant to do that. I actually think I took him to a special place to have this done. I remember having to drive really far away to get it done because I didn't trust where
Mexico.
No.
Did you have to drive to Laredo too?
No, but it's just hard because of course you want to do this, but you just don't know. And my mom's like, she's not in pain. And I'm like, okay, Mom, how do you know that?
She has conversations with Wizzy every night.
I don't know. But hey, speaking of teeth, I know this is an interesting transition. I know we were talking about pug's teeth, but I've been really more concerned about my teeth as well lately. I think I crunched on too much ice when I was pregnant, but we got this whole, I don't know, I think you've dove into it, and then I put some of this in the guest bathroom downstairs that we have guests in the house right now. Your mom was telling me how much she loves it, but Lumino is a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. Very fancy sounding name for some very next level oral care. It's very important taking care of your teeth and your gums, right? And I've had really bad experiences in the past. I don't know about you. You could go for a teeth whitening, I'm sure, but it hurts sometimes. Some of the products out there. I'm sorry, was that a mean thing to say? I need it too. No, well,
you can go for some Botox and nobody puts stuff.
I know I need it. I'm not allowed right now. No, I think my teeth at least are very sensitive with a lot of the stuff, these major brands that I bought to try and whiten my teeth, or when you go to the dentist and get it done. I don't know if you've tried that before, but it makes you so sensitive. And I didn't know this, but there's a lot of bacteria that's actually like good for your mouth. And, there's other kinds of teeth whitening solutions out there, like the one that Lumino offers. They make toothpaste, mouthwash, and whitening that are a totally new and different approach for improving your oral health. You won't find harsh chemicals or bleaches in any of their products. That's what's going to kind of strip your teeth and make them very sensitive anyway. Everything's dentist formulated, backed by over 50 studies, proven to protect all the good bacteria known as your microbiome. You're going to also love Luminos Whitening. It takes only 30 minutes to apply and brightens your smile with no sensitivity. Because look, if you've been sensitive from whitening your teeth, you know what I mean. You've had one of those strips in and you have to pull it off because you have like the worst shooting pain and you're like, I can't make it through a month of this. I'm never doing this again. And that's why you're especially going to love Lumino. Find Lumino on Amazon.com and get $7 off today. All you have to do is go to Amazon.com and look up Lumino. I'm going to spell it for you. Lumineux. Remember, it's spelled with an X so you can X out the harm. Lumino, dedicated to illuminating better ideas in oral care. So yeah, Wheezy can't use Lumino, but
I can. And I think I'm going to start using fucking Lumino.
I was just kidding. I'm sorry.
I actually do need some whitening for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't love the dentist in general. I need to go to the dentist. I need to call my friend because I think I haven't told you this. But
I love the dentist.
I was eating M&Ms the other day, and you love the dentist yet? I've never known you to go since we've been together.
Yes, I
go. You love them.
Actually, the joke that I made about you taking Wheezy to Mexico, that's what I do my dentist.
You do, yeah. He's like, I gotta fly to Mexico so I can go to my dentist. I'm like, why don't you go here? He's like, I like mine in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, so
She's
speaking
nice.
of. I mentioned earlier in the show, I want to talk for a minute about something funny just to kind of sell you and your mom out a bit. It's funny. It's
my mom needs Lumino also.
No, your mom's teeth are amazing. No. So Fran and I, having a baby's been obviously a huge undertaking, and we're still kind of getting a grip. And something I've noticed with Fran, which is great, because like if you have to choose the type of guy that's disinterested or like overly interested, I would obviously prefer the latter. And it's just been funny to watch Fran, and I feel so grateful to have you as a partner because every little thing. I mean, Remy has a booger. He thinks he hears it. He's like. Remy's about to die. Like he's about to send photos of the booger to the doctor on the app, but it's great because you almost seem more in tune than I do. And it's making me go, wow. So I'll hear him and his mom, like they're doing something. Remy's screaming like a pig and they're using the snot sucker to get it out. I'm like, y'all are on top of your shit, which is amazing. I mean, your mom's been just such a godsend for us, but we had this miscommunication with a night nurse, and I'm so grateful because Carly, someone that listens to the podcast, works for a newborn night nanny service and wrote me and said there's a service in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that they have like 40 women that work for them, so they might have some availability, which was great since we're going to lose our night nurse this week. And it's just been probably one of like the best things if you're pregnant and can carve out a little bit of money like women recommended to me. It's really been, probably, at least in my opinion, one of the best things. You look at you bracing yourself from what I'm about to say. He's sitting there like, where's she going with this? So, no, it's funny. But night nurses, let's just be honest, this service is expensive. And so, we were doing it a few nights a week. Fran's mom's been helping us. And sometimes you spend money so you can get sleep, so then you can work and make money. And I know a lot of people face this dilemma with childcare, right? Like I'm just working enough to pay someone to help me with our kids. And so that's kind of what we're going through right now. But I'll say at least night nurse, there's an end to it, right? But it is a pricey service. And Fran's mom's been concerned about us spending money on that.
If you guys want to sponsor us, that'll be amazing.
Yeah, no. And so anyway, so I found this other service. So we have 2 different women that we're going to come kind of tackle the next, 4 to 6 weeks, however long we're going to do this for, right? A few nights a week. Well, Carly came over the other night. And so, this is someone new and this is her first night, working with us. And, when I woke up she was great, right? She came into our room, we caught up. She's younger than who we had been working with before, but she has a baby of her own. And so when I wake up in the morning, I woke up multiple times in the middle of the night. Fran's not next to me in bed. And I'm like, where is he? And then in the morning I wake up and I go to the kitchen and I'm talking to Fran and his mom. Both of them look like they have been pulling like an all-nighter out. I mean, they both look like absolute shit. Like what have y'all been doing all night? They had both stayed up all night spying on the night nurse because they were so worried that someone new was in the house. And they were both so exhausted that it just cracked me up that I'm like, I slept great, by the way. Like I totally trusted this woman. Not that they didn't trust her, but I think they had spent the whole night going up and down, just not spying, but just, making sure everything was okay. And then it made me feel like, am I not a good mom? Because I was fine. I trusted this woman.
I think Carly seems amazing, and she's amazing. I think she's a really sweet person. But, as it grows, like the second you meet the kid, you fall in love.
Yeah.
But then you start interacting every day and he steals your entire self and your entire heart.
Yeah. You're very concerned. It's hard to sleep. I know.
It's just like, I just want to make sure that she obeys to what we want.
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. And, I'm glad I have y'all because I slept pretty good. I hear him cry for a minute. I know he wakes up, he's hungry, and then it's good. And it's just so funny because we live in this townhome, if you can visualize, and there's a yoga mat that Fran has laying on one of the railings, and it's such an eyesore. So the other day I kind of had energy. I'm picking it up and I roll up the yoga mat and I put it in the garage. And his mom goes, "Where's the yoga mat?" And I'm like, "It's in the garage. Do you want to do yoga?" She's like, "No, It's what I use to spy on the night nurse, because she keeps it on the stairs so she can like come up and peek and just make sure everything's okay. No, Carly's gonna laugh when she listens. We were fine with it. It's like, I mean, I was great, Carly. I slept great, and then of course she came back on Sunday night.
Oh, the Sunday I
and
slept
your mom,
amazing.
yeah, y'all slept amazing. I'm like, no, this is on y'all. This is y'all's issue that you were just worried. Which
Oh, for
strange to have a
sure.
stranger into your house taking care of your baby all night. But I'm home. It's not like I'm leaving someone brand new alone all day that I've never met before. We're
The thing
there.
is that in Mexico, we had two shows. One was Casos de la Vida Real, which is cases of real life. And the other one was La Rosa de Guadalupe, Guadalupe's Rose.
Okay.
And you see cases in these like soap opera type of shows of nurses stealing babies, like nurses doing weird shit to babies. So you get like a little jaded when it comes to
I
that.
see. So y'all are just
We
worried.
have that,
Yeah.
like that Latino soap opera kind of worried. Like we want to make sure that this nurse doesn't try to harvest baby's organs
Oh
or
my God, the drama. Do you see what I have to deal with?
or anything.
So I told Danny, who works for me, who's also comes from a Latin family, what y'all had done. She goes, oh yeah, typical Latino behavior. She was just like, yeah, that's Hispanic.
face.
That's Hispanic
Yeah.
family stuff. Like my family would do the same thing. I was like, y'all are passionate.
I'm pretty sure her family did that for the first two babies and stopped doing it for the last 6. Because Danny has like 20 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I have you to support there because
Yeah.
I
And we
just
wanted you
feel
to sleep because
yeah.
at the
well,
end
I'm
of the
paying
day,
someone
the
to watch
one,
the baby. I want to get some
the
sleep.
one that needs sleep is you because you're the one making the milk.
I think that's been the hardest thing for me. And Danny here, who's about to have a baby of her own this summer, I said I think that's absolutely the hardest part that I've learned now that I'm seeing the light a little bit and getting a little bit more sleep. It's the sleep deprivation. It makes you feel it makes you feel crazy. Makes you feel like you just can't get it together.
Did she read her contract when she got hired in Finnish where it said that if it's a girl, we're keeping her?
No.
Her firstborn girl.
So did you see that headline I sent you the other day?
Which one?
There is a lesbian couple in New York that is suing. The headline was like, other than the lesbian couple and some of the other stuff, it was exactly what happened to Fran and I. They're suing the IVF clinic they put in a male embryo when they asked for a female to be put in, and their attorneys are arguing that it's equivalent to rape, which I kind of left it there, with the story, but I sent it to Fran.
And called the attorneys just to get a little bit of a free piece of advice, just to see, hey, we had the same issue. What is the figure that we're looking at here?
Yeah, no, I would prefer to not be a litigious person, and we're really actually thrilled now that we have a boy. But yeah, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened to us. You can sue for anything. You have people suing for things just to get their way, and it's ridiculous. That's just not the type of person that I am. But and the IVF clinic, in my opinion, that we use, they actually, I don't know if I've said this publicly, but they refunded us some of the money to try and make it right, for the genetic testing and for part of the procedure, which is what Fran and I decided we should use this for Remy's college education fund. And then we were like, we should use this for a night nurse more immediately. So that's what we decided to do with that refund. So, they tried to make it right. And now, my mom always said, she's like, Jenna, once you're going to have a little boy, even though you had said put a girl in. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine it any other way. And I think that's what we were speaking to when women ask me what they do about gender disappointment when they find out women get really hung up on it, understandably. But I promise you, when you meet that baby, you're not ever going to think about it
I'm
again.
going to tell you one thing. This weekend, we had the opportunity to get out of the house and go meet a couple of friends that were really close friend of mine. We used to actually live together when I first moved to Dallas, and the three of us had babies like within a month, and one of them had a baby like 2 days after.
Yeah.
us. Same hospital, we were able to see them, but they both had girls. There was something about having a boy that I felt really good about it.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Like I feel that as a first, and I'm pretty sure you might feel the same in the contrary, but at the first, having a boy, someone that you can understand much better, like someone that you can relay, there's something that
For you.
feels more familiar. Yes,
yes, you can have penis talk and stuff.
yes,
Yeah. pee outside together.
Yes.
I'm really glad to hear that. And I don't know if I've expressed this to you and I kind of internalized it, but seeing you with little girls, like not that comes across really creepy, but you know, cause I've seen you with your niece and then some of your friends here that do have, you know, very young little girls that you play with. And I know they say, you know, little girls tend to love daddy. Like all of y'all have told me boy moms that boys just love their mom on another level. I worried just for us because I didn't want, like, he's going to be like Hefe, you know, like obsessed with me. And then you feel very left out. And that worried me a lot, you know, because and you don't know what to expect, but it made me sad. Even though you were happy about having a boy, I almost wanted the little girl more for you because I've seen you the way you would be with a little girl and how much daddies and little girls are so great together. So I'm glad to hear you say that because that is really something that like hung with me for a while.
I feel so happy. I feel so connected with him. And I feel like he's just going to be like my little accomplice.
We have feedback from so many people. The women will write me now that people are following you more and you're posting more on your stories and how much you're posting Remy. And women will write me and be like, Fran just loves this baby so much. It's so great to watch how excited he is.
We have long conversations.
You're really, I think you're meant to be a dad. You're really good at it. I think, and you have this patience that I didn't know that you had because you certainly don't have it with me. I don't have the patience.
I don't have it with anybody else.
Yeah, but him.
Yeah, let's see how long it lasts.
Yeah, they really test your patience, right?
Yeah, but I think it's just that accomplice that I was looking for.
I know. Remy already has FOMO like you do. I think Remy's starting to look more like me and I'm such a homebody and I wanted a child that's also a homebody like me. I have a feeling Remy's personality wise is going to end up being like you. He's so alert and he's just going to be like wanting to go out and party all the time. He wants to hang out. Yeah. This kid
doesn't want to sleep.
He's a newborn. He doesn't sleep during the day. I mean, he is just like, where's the party? He hears Fran and I, he wants to hang out. He's so excited kicking his legs. I'm like, isn't he supposed to be sleeping like 17 hours a day? Like he sleeps good at night, but oh my gosh, he wants to party.
No, during the day he hears people and he wants to for sure. And he can like, if he just feels people around, he wakes up.
Yeah.
There's sometimes that you can be, if he's in your arms, he could be sleeping, but he's in the middle of the party.
Yeah.
And people can be shouting and he would not wake up. But when he's by himself and he feels people around him, he wakes up.
We're going to have to, your mom told us we need to go on a date. So Fran and I, this Friday, I get my 6-week checkup. We're going to talk about birth control. Because I can't get pregnant again right now. So we're going to have to really have a conversation about that. And your mom told us to go on a date. So we're joking. We're like, we'll go to a restaurant like 5 o'clock because him and I haven't done anything alone together, I guess, other than this right now. And he's home right now. We haven't done anything alone together. So we'll have to work on that. You know, I turned to Fran the other day and I was like, I miss you. We were laying in bed. He goes, why? I'm right here. Typical dude response. I was like, because, you know, he's so into Remy or I'm with Remy or we're working. Shut up. So we're going to have to find a way to not, I mean, this is actually kind of nice. We're talking about the baby right now, but I bet it gets hard in the beginning, right? Because all you want to do is talk about your baby. But that's why I'm really excited. I mentioned that we have a guest coming on the show today and we have to make time for her now, Fran.
I need to understand all about that pelvic floor because I want to salsa dance the shit out of it on Friday.
Yes. You gave away the topic of conversation. We have a guest joining us today. I'm really excited because a lot of you have written me about this. So let's take a moment and welcome Raven to the show. Fran, I'm so excited right now because we've been talking about doing this for a while. We have a guest.
We do.
We do have a guest. I'm really excited, but
we actually out of bed.
Yeah, we're out of bed. Yeah, doing video today, but yeah, we have a guest. And before I get into it, I'm really excited to talk about this Finnish partner we have on the podcast, Athletic Greens, Fran, and you can speak to this really well, right? Every morning, Fran stirs himself a nice little packet of Athletic Greens, right?
I feel like I'm like pouring myself a martini every morning because I like it's a really easy, very simple. It comes with a huge powder jar, and if you're on the go, it has these little packets which are amazing.
This is the thing I love the most about Athletic Greens is, you know, all of us have this idea that we want to ingest more greens every day. It's really good for you, but it's really hard to make this stuff yourself and get all the nutrients that you need. And they make it so easy because, like you said, they give you the container, they give you the on-the-go bottle and these little packets. So all you have to do is mix it with water. Well, what's it good for, right? Do you want better gut health, more energy, an optimized immune system? frankly, I hate swallowing pills and vitamins. So this is kind of a way to alleviate some of that. Yeah, exactly. So we love it. I see Fran mixing it every morning. I have some on the go, especially now that I'm trying to get my health back on track, that I'm not pregnant anymore because I can't just eat like I'm eating for two, right?
Oh, you're still eating for two.
Okay. Well, right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially as we're kind of in the midst still of flu season. It's 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's a really great offer. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/fitish. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/fitish to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. I love that. But time for our first guest. A lot of you have written us. We've been getting your feedback, and I'm really excited to welcome my friend, but also a fitness and nutritional expert herself, Raven. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us. We're like very excited to finally have a guest.
You know, Raven, I'm always like just wanting to say by your Instagram name. I'm always like,
oh yeah,
Pilates Body Raven. Yeah. So Raven and I have known each other for a few years, and we've trained all different styles together. And of course, if you've been a fan of Fitish and the Fitish Instagram account, you've seen her do a lot of videos. She's hosted workout events for us. But when I posed the question when I was pregnant, who would you like us to have on the show as a guest? A lot of women said, I need some help with my pelvic floor and exercises I can do when I'm pregnant to strengthen the pelvic floor and postpartum exercises. So first of all, I know I just had a baby, but what is the pelvic floor?
It sounds like a recarpeting situation or something like that. Is it hardwood floor?
Exactly.
What is the pelvic floor?
So it's really just like your deepest, strongest stabilizers for your pelvis that also connect like your lower body to your upper body, right? So just think like your deepest core muscles that are going to keep like your hips strong and stable, going to keep your posture up, going to keep your lower back in a good alignment. So literally your pelvic floor, I feel like we talk about it, like, especially as women, like, your Kegels.
Okay, so that's related to Kegels.
Yes,
so when you do 100%. Kegels, you are strengthening the pelvic floor when you're trying to squeeze down there, and it feels very awkward. Yeah.
Very weird, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to get, and for everyone's body, it'll be different, but really finding that deep engagement versus like just like contracting your abs, that's kind of the difference between like your pelvic floor and just engaging like your abdominals. Okay.
And, more specifically, the question that we actually got from Alyssa, and we got a lot of questions from you about this topic, but she said, hey, Jenna and Fran, I'm a fellow boy mom here. Due with my 3rd boy in May, I wanted to see if Raven could touch on the topic of the pelvic floor, but specifically ways to alleviate pelvic pain. This pregnancy has been awful in that aspect where even getting out of bed hurts. Any advice would be great and helpful. Thanks. Yes. So do you have some like usable, doable tips for, when you are pregnant or things to stay away from doing maybe?
Yes, 100%. I think it's so important for women to be doing core strengthening exercises before, during, and after, right? Especially this condition can really increase the more kids that you have, right? So you want to make sure between every pregnancy, you're always doing something to take care of your core, your deep core muscles, your transverse abdominis, and specifically reconnecting your rectus abdominis. So that's when we get into like that whole Diastasis Recti, and that really
is she speaking a foreign language to you, Fran?
Like, what?
I know all of the Diastasis Recti.
We have like a rectal abdominal muscle. What is that?
Yeah.
The Diastasis Recti.
Well, okay, so that's that separation that even right now I'm thinking I might have it. I don't know if I have it, and instead of, diagnosing if we have it, there's things, but you've told me when I was pregnant, there's certain things to stay away from, right?
Always.
Like there's certain moves that pregnant women, you're not supposed to just like sit directly up out of bed and things like that, right? What are some things that you're not supposed to do?
Right. Some things that I would definitely stay away from are going to be like, planking, especially like on your forearms. You could do like an all fours position and try to engage your abdominals. I'd stay away from crunches, from sit-ups, anything that's really making those muscles go outwards versus pulling them inwards. We want it all to come back in and up.
That's like more like a cat cow.
Yeah, you could do like a cat cow for sure, especially because she wants to talk about her pelvic floor, right? And she's having like
We all want to talk about her pelvic floor.
we all want to talk about her pelvic floor.
I haven't seen that floor in a while.
You saw my floor.
I haven't. Well, I saw the whole floor. I saw the entire apartment.
Yes.
The kitchen. I saw
Remy's
the bathroom. I saw like the
It's
nursery.
it's the only mansion I have. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. So what are So stay away from
Anything
crunches.
that's putting lots of pressure. You know, anything where you're feeling like you're going above and beyond. If you feel like it would be hard to do without a baby in there, let's skip it.
Okay.
I would say for everyone, even if you're pregnant or not, or before you're pregnant, starting with just like little pelvic rocks, laying on your back, right, when you're in bed, and just thinking like, how can I move my pelvis forward and back or side to side, kind of like a little Shakira move. You can literally do that while you're laying down on your back, because a lot of like that discomfort she's talking about, that pain, is just that weakness. Because, you know, 3 kids, and that's when we really want to find that in and up connection. And it's going to help, like I said, like your lower back. It's going to help with posture stuff. A lot of new moms start to have funky posture things because they're holding kids on one side, they're doing stuff like that. So it all kind of works together, and there's like literally really simple things you can do to fix so many things.
I've noticed how weak my core is, and I hate doing core work. I don't know. Some people love doing ab workouts, and I just don't. I find it to be really uncomfortable. I can like do legs. I'd rather do squats and lunges, and I just hate doing core work. But I've noticed as I've been pregnant and like breastfeeding or bending over, I noticed how much my back hurts, and I realize it's because my stomach is just soft mush right now. I mean, I have absolutely no abdominal strength. I feel very weak. So I know I'm really excited to get back to working out with Raven. I know that it's really hard to visualize right now if you're watching us on YouTube for the first time back or just listening to this podcast. So that's why we're really on top of our shit here. And Raven has filmed some of her recommended moves for you to do to help strengthen your pelvic floor. Make sure you're signed up for the Fitish newsletter, because that's where we're sending them out. So and you can check these out.
Any recommendation that you can do, like if you're pregnant, let's say like when she was 8 months pregnant, that any exercise that you can do as a couple, that you can help.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been. Look at him now.
After the fact.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Babe, I carried all the weight on my shoulders. Okay.
Yeah. Are there good couples? I mean, I see you training like hot athletes doing Pilates, right? You love that male, like giant men doing Pilates.
It's so hard for them. And it's crazy. It's these small little connective muscles, right, that are so important for all of our bodies. Like your tiny little obliques, they have so much to do with literally what we're talking about now. And even for like these 300-pound men that I train, like it's hard for them too to really find these deep connectors. But like that's what's supporting your spine. That's what's supporting your pelvis. That's what's supporting your legs. So building strength in these small muscles are so important. But couple exercises, you could do like fun competitive things like up against a wall sit, but instead of like just focusing on your legs, you could focus on pulling your whole spine and abs into the wall behind you, because it's that breathing, like I said, like that in and up. That's what we're trying to get.
Nice.
Look, I like that competition.
You could hold the baby while you're doing it.
That's something I was about to ask. Like, is there any exercise that you can use the baby as a prop? Because that thing, it's, I'm sure, 12 pounds now.
Yeah, he is. He's a big boy.
12 pounds already? I love that.
He was 10 at his last appointment, but he's been eating a lot.
Sounds like me.
Oh, right. Yes, Raven. It sounds like you.
So Raven, where, like I said, follow, all you have to do is sign up for the Fitish newsletter. You get prompted for that when you go to the website, or if you've placed an order, you know, you get the newsletter. So we're going to be sending that out with the exercises, but you have tons of great YouTube videos, all different sorts of workouts. Where can people follow you?
Yes. YouTube, Pilates Body Raven, tons of free workouts on there. Workouts that would be like completely appropriate for this, up to, you know, people who aren't pregnant who really want to exercise. And then Instagram, TikTok, same thing, Pilates Body Raven.
Are people able to hire you to virtually train them?
100%. I'm just starting with my virtual workouts, but they're so fun. Like it takes me back to like quarantine times.
What about in person?
Like I love it.
In person. Yeah, but don't monopolize her time, because now I'm going to get back and I need her at least one time a week for 30 minutes, because that's all I'm going to be able to handle.
And I need her for the rest of the 30 minutes.
Oh, well, it's so good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Oh my God, my pleasure. I love it.
I know you're working on a lot of exciting things, so we'll have you on the show again in the future.
Yeah. we can wait to hear what's coming.
Yeah.
Yes, more Pilates as always, all stuff like this. We love it.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Pleasure.
Thank y'all.
Well, I think our first guest appearance went pretty well.
Yeah.
Now we just need more guests all the time. So please write us info@fitish.com if you have more ideas. Something I know personally, someone that I want to book on the show. I don't have the person yet, but it's kind of the next thing that I want to work on is an intimacy. I want to get an intimacy coach. Not that
No, of course, because
need help right
it is a good, well, we don't.
we might.
I hope.
Well, we'll see.
We'll figure
let
it
y'all know once
But
we're intimate again.
It's a really good segue because now that we learn how to take care of the floor,
The
we
pelvic
need to learn
floor.
how to wipe it, how to mop it, how to swipe it,
See, people listen to us and think that we have our shit together, like they like our dynamic, and we've been good lately. We haven't been giving each other too hard of a time, but being honest,
or we
I like to be
forget because we're
transparent.
so fucking tight.
Fran and I have had to seek therapy before. I wanted. There's been multiple times that I kicked him out and ended the relationship. I did everything but throw all of his stuff out. But we've had some dramatic fights in the past, and sometimes it's just learning how to fight. And BetterHelp has been a sponsor of the Fitish podcast for quite a while now. And it's not just couples counseling. I mean, that's just something that we've had a need for in the past. But regardless of what your issues are, sometimes you don't have any issues and life's going pretty good, and then out of nowhere, tragedy strikes, or you lose a job, or you just go through a really dark spell. And this is just life. Life sucks sometimes, and BetterHelp is there for you, and they're there for you in such an affordable and convenient way, because you can just go to the website. They'll match you with a therapist that specializes in what you're looking for, right? In as little as 48 hours, they're going to find someone that can accommodate you and your schedule. You can do this from home. You don't even have to turn your camera on, which means you don't have to get out of bed if you're not feeling good, right? But sometimes just talking to someone very experienced, right? Very objective. They're not going to judge you. They're going to give you great coping mechanisms and make some recommendations. I'm such a huge fan of therapy. Fran and I are, I'm sure, going to go through periods of time in our life where we need to do some check-ins. I recommend doing check-ins before you get through.
It's like vitamins. Like it's better to prevent.
Exactly. And learn how to fight, right? I think that was our issue at a time, that he was fighting kind of mean, and I then was not able to get over it very well, or, just communication issues in general. So we're always a work. Yeah. Isn't that nice? That kind of memory.
I've forgotten.
Well, go to betterhelp.com/fitish. You're actually going to get 10% off of your first month just for being a Fitish listener when you go to betterhelp.com/fitish. That's BETTERHELP.com/fitish. We're hanging in there for now.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes when we disagree on. There's just going to be so many things with a baby, it's like, I don't like that. I don't like how you discipline, or being on the same page about it.
But I think we just have to be flexible as the way that we've been up to this past almost 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it's just about trying to bounce ideas and not be close to any routes.
Does your mom think I'm a bad mom?
No.
Because she's just been helping so much, and then I
don't think, no, my mom doesn't think that you're a bad mom. I think she understands that you had a lot going on, and now you have a lot more going on because you've been completely out of work for 6 weeks and need to get back to your pace of life. And I think we've been trying to cope life, baby, nuance.
Yeah.
In a very good way. And we've been absolutely lucky. I was telling the girls, or Raven, our guest, I was like, I don't understand. And I have a complete different type of respect for all those parents that don't have any help. That get thrown in with a baby and they get home.
I think you and I would have killed each other by now.
Most
or it
likely.
would have taken me a lot longer to get back to this, right?
No, and I think it's just a process that it's so extreme in every way, emotional. Like when you cannot understand why he's crying and he just keeps crying, and there's
and they
no
just do
one
that sometimes.
that tells you like, oh, maybe those are signs of gas, or those, or maybe he just needs to eat more. But
yeah, because they tell you they should only eat this much, and you're like, he's not hungry, and then he's like, "Arr, arr, arr," and I'm like, oh, he's hungry. He puts his little like gums on my face. I'm like, oh,
like
he's
starts
hungry.
eating everything.
He starts
like,
looking for your boob.
yeah, and it's just, I'm just completely amazed for how people do it by themselves, and it's just crazy amazing that we are lucky enough.
Fran sent his dad back to Mexico City today. I mean, his dad was so ready to go, and he has bullied his poor mom into staying with us indefinitely. So she is home.
I bullied
right
my
now.
dad also, because it's like I told her that he was a deserter. He just jumped boat. Things got hard.
You walked him to the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, your poor dad was so ready to go. I mean, they have been with us for 5.5 weeks.
But I'm gonna give him like 4 months for him to call back and say I want to go back.
4 months?
Yeah, because that's the amount of time my mom is gonna stay here.
She's not staying that long. It's been so nice to have them around. I feel like my Spanish has improved a little bit. My listening Spanish, like I'm understanding more. I still am not confident enough to speak at all, but I'm understanding more, I think. I don't know if you translate always what I want to say. Especially I found that wanting to say emotional things to your parents, you know, like how incredibly appreciative I am. And, you know, your mom understands a lot more, but it's just been, I never thought I'd be comfortable with people. I mean, they've literally been our roommates for over a month. I never thought
I was able to be comfortable in the same.
I am not burned out
type
on
of
it at all.
environment. Like I haven't spent this much time with my parents since I was a teenage kid.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. Like the other day when they said that they were leaving, I was like, wait, no, like
I made a huge mistake. His mom confided in me and didn't really tell me not to tell him something. And so I've learned now that I can't trust my partner because his mom said to me, you know,
what
she
was
came
that,
up
better
into
care?
she came better help. We need to
better help.
She came to me and said, so I think, you know, they've kind of changed their plans here and there. And, you know, she has a husband who's ready to go home. You know, Fran's dad doesn't really speak any English and he's stressed about some stuff at home. They've been gone for 5.5 weeks. His mom's more than happy to stay with us. But she came to me and said, look, I think that, you know, if you have a little bit of nighttime help and you found someone to help you during the day here and there, you know, as I need to work, she's like, I think we're just going to probably go home early next week. And just the day before, she had told us that she was going to stay through the end of April. So it was like a huge change. And I went of course I supported. I'm like, whatever y'all need to do, you know, I'm so appreciative, like whatever needs to happen. So I said to Fran, we were going to visit a friend. I turned to him and I was like, I know, I'm so bummed that your mom, they've decided to just leave earlier next week because your dad really wants to get home. He just turned into like the Terminator. Like he just like calls on the phone. I was like, no, I'm trying to talk to you about this. Like, and you just acted like I didn't even exist. And I hear him get on the phone with his mom in Spanish. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's gonna be so mad at me. Did she not tell him? I don't know what happened. So I don't know what you said to her to make her feel so bad. She came into my bedroom the next morning and sat down in a chair and goes, I need to talk to you, but this stays between you and I. And so her and I had a really healthy conversation about, is Fran bullying you into staying? And it's very selfish of him.
I don't think
and that's
I'm
what I
bullying
said.
them. Like,
guilt tripping
no.
you. I want you to be happy. And it's just so interesting, you know, when you don't speak the same language, but you can totally understand. And I go, okay, I'm not going to say anything to Fran, but are you going to talk? Because both Francisco and his dad's name's Francisco. So we have to kind of differentiate, which we haven't done a very good job of that. We're like, your Francisco or my Francisco, even though you're both her Franciscos. And so it was just a funny conversation. She goes, I will talk to my Francisco and your Francisco. And I said, okay, you talk to them. Was that impression good? That's what she did. And then he comes upstairs sulking, you know, he's just like, she's only going to stay for another 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, I mean, what, almost 3 months, two months of your mom being with us, helping us like full time take care of our babies. Amazing.
To want to kick him out by week 0.
No, I couldn't ever imagine that I'd be that happy with that many people in a small space. And I'm just so appreciative.
It's just been amazing. Like it's just been, and having my dad, like, poor thing, like he literally didn't do much while he was here, but it was helpful to having around. Just helpful.
I feel bad that we didn't really do anything fun.
Oh, we did. Like, and I don't think. I'm sure that
they understand.
They absolutely understand. Like, they understand. They didn't come here to go to Six Flags and the DMA every other day. They just came here to help, and they're so just in love with this little creature that it's also part of their charm.
This little creature.
And but I don't think I bullied my mom. I think she does want to stay. She better want to stay. No, I was just laughing that you called him a little creature because I know how sensitive people get. And I made a mistake the other day. I shouldn't have done it. I never really post mean comments, but I just was pumping in the middle of the night and saw this like awful, rude comment from this woman about how like I'm just such a bad mom and Remy deserves better. And that I just complain and da-da-da-da. And it's interesting because I think I've gotten a lot of really great feedback from people about being more relatable on it, you know, because I think everyone knows that we love Remy and I call him a little beast. It's like a term of endearment. I always called the pugs little beast. I mean, my friends and I, they call their kids terrorists. Like they say it is, you're negotiating with a terrorist when you have a child. And I think most of us know my sense of humor or know that we all kind of have that commonality that I call him a little beast. He's a little hairy beast and he eats a lot. Like that's not a mean thing to say. I was feeding him yesterday or the day before, and you know that he starts like doing like this.
Yeah,
he just
drunk. Yeah,
like, and he just wants to stop eating. Yeah. But then if you don't finish feeding him,
you gotta
wakes up like 3 seconds after, like a monster,
starving to death. Yeah.
So my mom was in the background, and I was feeding him, and I was like, "Ándale, cabrón, termines en la botella." My mom was like, "Don't call him names." Like, mom.
What did you say to him? What were
like,
you saying?
Cabron, like, hey.
Yeah.
But in a very endearing way. She was like, don't call him names. Like, he's my cabron. I call him however I want.
Yeah, Fran and I get it. We call him our silverback gorilla because he has a hairy back. I mean, he's our little beast. Yeah. Like, it's totally fine. It's sweet. We love our little beast.
And he knows it.
Yeah. But thank you. A lot of y'all, I got an overwhelming amount of people writing me when I posted that comment from that woman, Kimmy, I guess was her name. And she's like a grandma. Like, what? Why are you being so mean in the middle of the night? But I literally wasn't that affected by it. But so many of y'all reached out really concerned about my mental health, and I appreciate it. I think that this is just par for the course. I'm surprised I haven't gotten more. And I've learned, you know, I'm going to have to navigate when I post photos because sometimes, you know, we post a photo, we're out to lunch, like we had moved his car seatbelt down, and I get so many comments like it needs to be by the armpits. And I know people just have our best interest.
I'm pretty sure it comes from the best.
A good place. So, you know, that's just, I think, the reality of having a platform and sharing a story and sharing photos. I'm going to have to make a decision. Am I only going to ever post Remy on a white blanket so there's no toys around? Or I think about that he's in his bassinet and I'm taking a photo of him and he wasn't in his swaddle.
You're going to get critics all the time. People that, because
everyone's an expert mom, right? I'm not.
I'm pretty sure there's people that, and I'm going to give 90% the benefit of the doubt that they do it from a really good place. Like, hey, been there, done that. And then there's Kimmy.
And then there's Kimmy. Kimmy's like, I never complained. You know, I'd read you her comment right now, but it's so, I mean, I'll just read it. I don't like ending on a negative note, but just for y'all's entertainment. And then we're going to let you go. But it's just funny. I'm sure if you followed my social media, you saw it. And I don't know why I posted it. It was just the middle of the night. And I was like, wait, I'm just going to shame Kimmy a little bit, which I don't like to do because I'm sure y'all probably ended up getting her banned from social media. But Kimmy said, I feel so sorry for your son. You're so negative. And today you posted you're questioning your decision to procreate because I made that funny meme.
Yeah, with the monkey.
With that little boy on the couch being like, questioning my decision. You complained your entire pregnancy and you're still at it. Your baby can feel that negativity. Guess what? Millions of us women have done this. None that I know have behaved like you're behaving. The baby deserves better. So I was like, okay, Kimmy. And so many of y'all were so upset.
They closed my trolling account. Like, I think...
Oh, it was his account? He said I had to shut my account down. Shut up.
Like I had Instagram.
some woman on there actually was like, okay, Kimmy from Arlington, Texas, with a son named Tyler who's married, and like she like fully knows who this Kim person is. So anyway, I appreciate the support. I rarely do that because
bless your heart.
It is what it is, but I think it's just nice to know sometimes we all go through this, and it's just there's a lot of women bullies out there, and it's such a shame. I would just never do that to someone. So hey, if you're having a hard time with a newborn baby, I get it. And if you think your kid's a beast, and I mean, Fran and I looked at each other the first 2 weeks of having this baby, and we went, what the fuck did we do? And we're kind of laughing about it, but that is real. It is very hard.
No, we were actually looking into all the paperwork that we got from the hospital to see what the free trial was.
Return policy. Yeah. Shut up. Y'all know we're kidding.
We actually saw that a day after it was expiring.
Well, going back to the guest, I hope you enjoyed Raven today. Make sure you go to fitish.com, sign up for our newsletter if you don't. We send out great newsletters with deals and tips. We're going to include Raven's 5, pelvic floor strengthening exercises that you can quickly do from home. So I hope you like some of her feedback. And again, if you know of an intimacy coach, I would just personally love to have that. We have a lot of other guest recommendations too. So that's all we have for today because I'm leaking and need to go pump, but we'll catch you next week. Hope you enjoyed us being back on video as well.
Great to be seen.
Great to be seen. Yeah. As always, just
showers.
Shoot us an email and your feedback at info@fitish.com, and we'll see you next week.